Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, and everyone in between, my name is Nikki, and welcome back to another Killer Instinct video. In today's video, I want to talk about what we have right here. This is a tier list put together by Ryu Korino on Twitter, Japanese Killer Instinct player. This is a Japanese Killer Instinct tier list. This has got some pretty interesting stuff in here, some very interesting decisions that I want to talk about today. And of course, I have not updated my tier list since last year. We'll be doing that very soon, so you guys can look forward to that. But I wanted to talk about their tier list today, because this is very interesting to me. So right off the rip, in S tier, there's no top 5 in S tier. That would insinuate that Thunder would be in the top 5 in this situation, which is a very interesting pick. But they have Fulgore as the #1 character. Fulgore as #1. That's very interesting to me. I do think that he's obviously a very strong character. I could see the argument for top 2. Putting him over Rash, I'm not sure how I feel about that necessarily. And having Rash at #4 is also quite interesting to me as well. I'm just not sure if they're playing the Alex V style out there or what, but I do think that's a little strange. What I do feel is even more interesting is having Omen in the #2 slot. That is an interesting debate right there. I do think the character is incredibly strong, very annoying, pretty easy to play, and I do feel like he covers a lot of matchups in this game. But as the #2 slot over Arya and Rash, I'm not entirely sure I see it, but I can see where they're coming from. Looking at the A+ tier, this is really interesting to me the way they have it ordered as well. The only characters that have an A+ are Thunder, Riptor, and Hisako. I do think all these characters could belong here in some capacity. I do believe that the characters in this list belong here to some capacity. I would maybe move Thunder down to A, just looking at their list, but it's really interesting to me to see that they have so many characters that I think would be an A+ that are not, and even characters that I think would be an S that are even lower than A+, which is just incredibly strange to me. It's very strange to see how all these different characters spread out like this, depending on like the player base, who's playing who over in Japan, you know what I mean? So I feel like that has a heavy influence on this kind of subject as well. So seeing something like, Aghanos in A tier is like baffling to me. Looking at the A tier though, we have at the top Glacius, Maya, Aghanos, Tusk, Mira, Gargos, Idol, Kilgore, and Eagle. Now, I definitely feel like there's some characters in there that don't belong that should be higher, and I do think there's some characters in there that don't belong that should be lower, but I also feel like there are some characters that are right where they need to be in the A tier. I believe that Maya, Mira, Kilgore, and Eagle all are maybe in the right spot. Generally, I might move Gargos down 1. I would definitely move Glacius up to A+, if not S. Same with Aghanos. Same with Tusk and Idol. Those characters I think are ridiculously strong to be in A tier, but again, it comes down to who's playing who over in Japan. They might not have access to high-level Aghanos or Glacius gameplay, so they might not be experiencing the full capacity of these characters to really understand what they can do at a high level. Looking at the lower end of things in the B+ tier, this is really interesting to me too, because their bottom 5 is kinda... It's different. I'll definitely say it's different. But they are not downplaying Saberwolf, Orchid, Sadira, or Spinal. They have them outside of the bottom 5. These characters nowhere to be seen in bottom 5. They're past that point. I would say they're above top 10, I guess if you can do math. That's really interesting to me as well. I'm kind of an advocate these days for not having those characters in bottom 5 myself, but I don't really know who would be bottom 5 if they're not. I'm still trying to piece that together, and I do think they're onto something with that one. Sadira, Orchid, and Wolf, in my opinion, they might not be bottom 5 anymore. We'll see. We'll see what I think when I get to my tier list video. Okay, so the remainder of the B+ tier, this is interesting to me as well. They have the Cinder, Pick, Shago, Arbiter, and Shin Hisako. I think Shin Hisako probably where she's supposed to be. Not gonna lie, I think Shadow Jago kind of fits there too. And Cinder, the only one that seems like the odd one out is Arbiter. Maybe they don't have any strong Arbiter out there. I think that's a very strong character. I would put him in A, maybe even A+. but I kind of feel like they're onto something with this B+ tier, guys. This looks pretty accurate to me. I might move Arbiter up and maybe Spinal up to A, but outside of that, this tier looks pretty good. They have a pretty good idea of that. I might have rated Cinder higher in the past, by the way, and I just don't know if I feel like that's true anymore. I feel like the character has a lot of bad matchups and a lot of hard matchups too. There are some very serious counter picks to this character, and I don't know if I really feel like he's as strong as I thought he once was. This list looks kind of accurate to me, and I really like what they're going for here with this B+ tier. Now, looking at the B tier, their bottom 5. I'm not sure if this is entirely ordered, but they do have Jago, TJ Combo, Kan-Ra, Kim Woo, and bottom 1, General Rom. That is something I don't think I can get behind. I think Rom is a little bit better than that. I can see the argument for bottom 5, and I know a lot of people think I'm crazy for that, but I don't think he's worse than any of those characters that come before him in that B tier. I do like Jago and Kim Woo in the B tier. I think that's something that's going to stick for me, but I cannot back up Rom in the bottom 5. I can also see the argument for Kan-Ra and for TJ because they do have a ton of bad matchups, but I'm not sure I'm willing to put them in my bottom 5. You know, there's characters that are in that B+ tier that I maybe would put in bottom 5 before them, and I know some people would say that that's probably crazy, but I really don't know. I don't think TJ or Kan-Ra really belong. They might just be like 6 or 7. You know, it's really splitting hairs. But the thing that really just shocked me the most was seeing General Rom at the bottom, because they've clearly never fought Latalis before. That is one of the scariest characters. When they get their instinct, they put you in a corner and you just melt. You just absolutely get destroyed and obliterated. And I feel like there's some characters that can't help but get put in that situation by that character. So again, maybe lack of General Rom experience over in Japan is the reasoning for that. But yeah, guys, this is their tier list. This is the Japanese Killer Instinct tier list put up by Ryu Carino. I thought this was a great read. I thought this was something that was very interesting to look at. I really like seeing tier lists from other countries for this game. I want to know what their player character representation is like over there, what leads to this decision making. And I think a lot of this is actually really good, and then some of it is just kind of like, I'm very curious as to why they think, you know, Rom is bottom 1, or why they have Thunder so high. That's incredibly interesting to me as well. You know, the hologram influence just lives on forever, baby. It goes all the way over to Japan, you know? So, there it is, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.